Nope, that's not going to work. Classic. Me and the buttons, the last two episodes.
Out of practice.
Very. Hello and welcome into the Section 109 podcast here from Studio Breezy. I am excited to be back. We are here to review a game. We like, as all podcasters, likes, comments, and subscribes. And we're back after a little break, which we can talk about in a second. I am joined, as always, by Bobble Juan, which I did not forget this time. Sir Mix-a-Lot. Toby might join us. The door is cracked, but he refused to come out from under the bed. If you know Toby, that is very Toby. Matthew is here. Jim is here. And we are here to break down the first two games of the season, but really the happy one. Last night's 4-2, honestly, demolition of Connecticut United. Boys, how we feeling? Vibe check first off. First vibe check of the season. How we feeling?
Jim, I'll let you start.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
Did you see the XG yet?
No.
Matthew, tell me XG.
I have not seen the XG.
I want to know if this changes your vibes at all.
XG, including the penalty, was 3.61 to 1.16.
Now, when I say I'm taking the two games together. Now, I realized I was concerned after the first game until I saw what
the potential crimes of assault they committed against Huntsville.
I am telling y'all right now, Crown Legacy, at least as the roster is currently constructed until stuff happens at the first team level in Charlotte and things might change. Appointment television. Yeah. They are going to be
I knew they were
so fun to watch.
I knew they were going to be good. I mean, just from the value that you keep hearing about the roster. But, I mean...
Yes. So Matthew and I ended up watching the entire game the other night. And I don't know how...
The first game, you mean? Or?
Yeah, the Crown game.
We watched... Actually, Matthew and I watched the entire CFC Crown game, and then we also watched...
the Crown
Huntsville game.
Yeah.
And the Crown Huntsville game is very instructive of what Crown is. I said after the first game, I'm not sure how good or bad we are, but I think Crown is really good. It's only one game sample size, but I think Crown is really, really good.
Yeah.
Then I watched their second game, obviously, and I watched a bunch of the 90-15s. I also watched a couple live games. Still not sure who's good and bad because it's really tough to tell. But coming into that game, Huntsville's decent. And they got, mollywopped.
It was 5-2.
And they had almost 6 expected goals at the end of the game. It was 5.62 or something.
Yeah. And I mean, to be honest, I think 4-1, our game is slightly flattering to them.
It is.
It is.
Matthew,
I've got one expected goals model that had that game at had it at 3 point. I forget now. I'd have to scroll back up and look. It was at 3.2 something or 3.4 on one of the models to 1.5, and then another model had us at 1. We had it at 1.8. And Crown was at 2.8, maybe right around 3 because the big chance at the end.
It felt like a 3-1 game to me, and I know which means we lose, but I know that at least one of their goals was purely just because we were unbalanced because we were trying to go for a goal, and we just got completely out of position on our right side and.
You're also it's really important to understand with Crown. They've got more first team players in the group right now than they did last year. They've got several non-first, true Next Pro contracted players that were transferred for very large amounts of money.
Yeah. Talk us through that, but also I want to point out in that second game, Aaron John, who was a best 11 player from the season before, Aaron John didn't play against Huntsville. He played against us. So you could argue the lineup that was played against us was even better than the lineup that played. And Uchegbu got hurt like
Subbed out in the 10th minute.
10 minutes in, and his replacement was very good as well. But like you could argue the Huntsville game was down 2 players for 80 minutes of that game that are game changers and better than what played against Huntsville, and they beat Huntsville 7-2.
Yeah,
and it could have been 10-2.
ASA had the Crown game at 2.47 to 1.62. 1.74 on a player XG, but they combined probably on that, especially on that first goal, to make it no more than 1 XG in a possession.
Sure.
So
yeah, well, that's why I say cautiously optimistic.
And if you take away, look, it still counts, but if you take away the bad giveaway that leads to the 4th goal, which is probably like a 0.6 XG chance or whatever, because he's one-on-one with the keeper with the whole goal, you take away that and we're not quite even, but we're within striking distance of being even.
Yeah.
I'm not saying...
It felt a lot worse than it actually
yes,
was.
Exactly. I'm not out here to say like we're as good as Crown, because I don't believe we are.
No.
From what I've seen in the first 2 weeks, I think Crown is just the best team in the East.
Yeah.
And it's not particularly close, but I think we're not the team that we saw lose 4-1.
You've got a guy in Subotic who was a €1.5 million transfer. You've got a guy in Uchegbu who scored, if y'all remember, an absolute banger against us from outside the box last year.
Yes, he did.
He was a €1 million transfer. You've got their big striker up front who has just dominated the first couple weeks of play. That's a €4 million transfer.
Yeah.
4 million. That's not something that you can just bring him up to the first team and convert that, like, spend some gam and like have him as a regular dude on the roster. Like, no, that guy's going to get a roster designation spot.
Like a U22 young DP type of spot.
My theory is that Wilfred Zaha's loan, which expires in the end of June, like during the World Cup, my theory is that they are going to not renew Wilfred Zaha's loan. They're not going to extend it through the end of the year. And when that happens, it will open up a spot on the left wing. If Berchimas, the player who scored the 3rd goal against us, he's a left winger. If he's going to stick around and not transfer to Bayern Munich or wherever in Europe is looking, I think he'll start getting some serious playing time for Charlotte on the left wing when Zaha leaves. But I also think Oloko will probably be moved up as a U22 initiative signing.
He's a striker.
And, I just wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they play a lot of 4-4-2. Charlotte, I wouldn't be surprised about a lot of things. That's their kind of vibe. They bring a guy in, they let him acclimate with the 2 team for their U22 spots. Like they did this with Aiden Dokolamati, and he scored 10 goals in MLS last year as like a 19-year-old or something. He just seamlessly took over for Patrick Ajaman and was arguably better.
In 2023,
what they do.
Crown won the regular season going away because they did similar to this. They stacked that roster, and it looks to me like they've done the same thing. There was also, I watched the beginning of the Huntsville game, and the announcer suggested there was an additional $1 million transfer player that was playing the 6 in that game too.
Jesus. Hey, Toby.
So, hey, Tobinski. Buddy. So, Tobinski's also the name of their next $2 million transfer. Yeah, so I think they're really good. I think we, of course, have room to grow, and it's 2 games in. But vibes-wise, first game, I was a little bummed, and I was worried because I watched Connecticut absolutely kill Cincinnati. Cincinnati, right? It was Orlando.
Cincinnati.
They killed. I forget. I watched most of the Huntsville game that wasn't ours. I watched most of the Connecticut game that wasn't ours, and I watched ours. And I get confused who played who.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I watched the Crown game like we talked about. But I was worried, like, because Connecticut looked very good, and they had some good moments against us. I don't think they're a bad team, but I really liked how we played. I rewatched the game between last night and this morning, the whole thing, and there's a lot of things that stuck out that we can talk about. But my vibes are high, not for the whole season, but just for like, hey, right now from where we are, it's like, hey, good vibes. I like where we're going.
So one thing that we talked about on this podcast probably several months ago now, because we haven't recorded since middle of January. Like,
Did we talk about Chris last time we recorded?
no.
We got a whole catch up thing to do.
Okay.
We can do that. We can do that before we talk about the games if we want. But at some point we got to catch up.
We have
all the
a
things.
lot of things to catch up about. So, okay. We knew based on the signings, because personnel is policy, drink, that we were going to get more athletic than we were. We figured that we did not want to see a lot of games with 40% possession. We wanted to be able to go win the ball, be it in a pressing situation or in a counter press situation, or just to win the ball in the middle of the field. And we signed players to do that. We added further. I forget if we recorded, like, it was right around when like Yuval was signed, Matthias Hanscher was signed at center back, and then we saw in preseason that, like, yes, like Richard and this team put together by Sebastian and the staff, and then Richard as the interim head coach, really have a clear focus on they want this team to be able to win the ball, to be able to play in transition, to be able to keep some possession and keep some structure, and then be able to go forward and play. And they want to the way I see it so far is it's been, we want to play three different ways. There are three different ways that you can break down an opposition team. When you're in possession, you can go around them, you can go over them, and you can go through them. And this team looks to be built and structured so that they can do all three of those. Like, depends on what the defense is going to give you, depends on what the moment calls for. And then they also want to be able to just turn you over and make a play on goal. In the first 2 years of Next Pro, I think we created what this podcast would refer to as a Next Pro goal. I think we created one of them in 2 years.
To remind folks, a Next Pro goal is when there's an unexplainable, horrific giveaway at the back.
That is sometimes like just forced.
Sometimes it's forced by really good attacking players. Oftentimes, it's just a comedy of bad errors.
It's the kind of stuff that, like, if y'all
Because
know the
there's
account,
16-year-olds playing.
there's an account on Twitter.
When
playing out of the back goes wrong. Yes.
Right. So, like, this it's not just a Next Pro thing. It happens in other leagues, but typically,
Toby is digging. He is, as I say many times, digging to China.
It happens in other leagues. It happens around the world. But, like, when you play, and in Next Pro, a lot of these teams play this way, especially the two teams. Like, they're going to play out of the back. They're learning. They're building. They're going to play in their structures. One mistake is not the end of the world. Like, go out there and complete the pass that time, right? Well, that means that there are passes for stealing. There's points and goals for scoring and taking, right? But we were unable to even catch up to have a shot at winning the ball higher up the field. And when we did commit to the press, thinking about Inter Miami at home specifically, it often created disastrous outcomes because our defending was so good in large parts of the year, but mostly because we had a lot of defenders and they worked well in a structure together. This year, we have already scored 2 classic Next Pro goals because we've got the personnel to be able to do the things, to take advantage of situations.
Because there were situations over the past couple years in NISA, 3 years, where we could have and should have had an Next Pro goal, but we didn't have the personnel to accomplish it because you had one guy alone against 3 instead of having 3 guys alone against 1 or 3 when there's a giveaway, as an example.
Yeah. So
I got you a little catch-up section written.
Excellent. So I love cautiously optimistic. I think I'm gonna agree with that.
That's all 3 of us, yeah.
I really and I felt that way before even preseason started. I felt that way during preseason. Like the Birmingham game, like it's a championship team. It's a new look championship team. We looked like we absolutely belonged with, throw a trialist in there, throw some backups, throw some subs, throw some trialists. Like it just looked like two decent teams getting ready for preseason. We'll see if Birmingham's any good in the championship or not, but like championship's a good standard, right? So if we look like that, that bodes well for us. Knoxville, same sort of deal. Like we played a really good game against Knoxville. They're a good team. They won the league and the playoffs last year.
They don't understand what a friendly is, though.
It's classic League One, so it's going to be a little violent, and there's going to be very little soccer to be played.
Would you add "fuck Knoxville" to that list, please?
and that's just like okay, great. They're gonna be games. Probably
your starting striker's arm.
Probably in the Open Cup, like they're gonna be games like that, and so it's helpful to prepare. Look, Connecticut was pretty physical. Like Crown was pretty physical. Like they're gonna play, but like they're pretty physical. So I felt good coming out of preseason. I was not at Finley Stadium for the Crown game, which is better for me.
I wasn't either. We both missed that one.
So like I watched with a more analytical view.
Me too.
And
on rewatch together, we both felt better about it than live.
Yeah. And then you have to see the response.
And there are full match replays now.
Yeah, no, and I have to admit, I've not watched a full match replay yet.
But you could.
But I can.
I've now watched two.
So
I meant to last night when you text or when we talked and said, hey, you want to do it? You want to do it this morning? I was like, okay, I can go home and watch both of them. And then I went home and started reading a book, and I fell asleep. So
I'm not surprised you passed out. When I saw you, you seemed pretty tired.
I was tired.
You seem pretty tired. I think one of the coolest updates for this season, shout out OneFootball, is to have an app that's going to broadcast everything that we're hoping has some better data feeds, because we think they're going to use the MLS data feed, so they may have like some more accurate stuff, which would be dope. We'll see how that works out. That's a supposition. But to have a totally separate app that has and they seem to have, they're doing like some of the graphics, it seems like, and all that kind of stuff. So it seems that they have some skin in the game, which is dope.
MyCuju 3.0.
Yeah, well, MyCuju, that seems to be like, yes, not the worst. But also, everything's on the MLS YouTube as well. I pay for YouTube Premium. If you use YouTube a lot and you're not paying for YouTube Premium, I would suggest you cancel whatever other streaming service that you don't use that much and get YouTube Premium, because it is just...
They're not going to sponsor the podcast.
So good. That's not what I'm interested in. What I'm interested in is being able to... So YouTube Premium, you can just... Everything works better, and you can have picture-in-picture at all times. You can put it in your pocket while the screen's off. You can do all the things. No ads.
It seems nice. I'm not... I'm intrigued by it.
And when you watch a CFC game, if you want to add you to my family thing, I should have an extra spot if you want to try it out.
You're saying this on the YouTube.
Yeah, but that's not for them. That's for you.
Oh, okay.
But what I will say is it made watching CFC so seamless. Apple TV was also fine and good on the phone, but I was worried that we were going to go to some place where it was just a OneFootball type or a MyCuju type, and it wouldn't work. But since it's on both, and full match replays are available on YouTube, and they are so seamless to my television and my phone, it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
and
it's going to be. I think it's going to be nice to, and then you can rip off clips and do that other kind of stuff.
I have news for you. Their data is not better.
It's not.
No,
they're still using Opta.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it's got the same like FOTMOP graphic.
Oh well, maybe they won't get it.
And no stats.
That's what FOTMOP's for.
That's and SofaScore.
Or and I just download the SofaScore. They're not gonna sponsor us either. But I just download the SofaScore app, and I like it.
Yeah,
I've got it.
There's something.
I've got it too. I logged on it the other day. It's solid.
All right. Yeah. So,
do you want to talk in depth about a couple of the goals from the first game and a couple of goals from the second game?
Did you want to go back and talk about Chris? You said you wanted to talk.
I do. I put a whole list of catch up stuff. There's a billion things to catch up on.
Yeah, so let's catch up on a couple things first.
Sure, let's do it.
I'm gonna try to do this in rough.
However you want. I brainstormed a list for you there.
Okay, hang on. I gotta remember what the order is.
I have no clue chronologically.
Let's start with. Let's do this. Open Cup is the next home game. From when you listen, it'll be in roughly 8 or 9 days, depending
18th.
on when you listen.
18th.
March 18. It's a Wednesday. I think it's at 6 p.m. We're playing Bruno Colongi's UPSL team. Colongi Pro Profile, I think is their official name.
If you follow, I follow them on Instagram because we've played them and had a relationship with them for a long time. You will see you will see some high level of talent in some positions.
Yeah.
They have a lot of former pros that play with them now, but even more so, they have a lot of former Kalonji players that are professionals now. Their pipeline to the pros is long and distinguished, and they deserve. I don't know how good they are this year or bad they are this year, but they deserve to be here. They do. They're a good team with a lot of talent development.
Yeah, they Laurent Kissadou, who's the starting 10 for Charleston Battery. He's kind of out of that program. Some like Atlanta area players like will come back there to train in the off season or to between clubs. Jerry Dadoon, who's now at, that's a great question. Where is he now? Maybe AV Alta, maybe. He was a guy out of Kalonji even before he became a pro. At 1904. Hell yeah.
R.I.P.
God, those were the days.
Oh God.
Oh shit.
We can have AI slap on this podcast too.
AI.
Jesus Christ. So yeah, that'll be an interesting test. We'll just see what happens there. Shortly after that, a mutual parting of ways with Chris Nugent.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, wait, before just about the Open Cup. So the first round has 32 teams in. Is that right?
I don't fucking know about the Open Cup.
Okay.
I don't know either. I think it is.
But I think the winners of that, that's when the championship teams come
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
So the winners of like if we were to beat what's the name?
Kalonji Pro Profile.
Yeah. If we were to beat them, then we're playing a championship team.
Maybe.
I think we're
Or is
going
it just
to. I think we're going to get paired with East Ridge again.
There might be championship teams playing in the first round too. Like it's a weird situation.
I think they're going to pair us with East Ridge again if they win.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
saying the quiet part out loud.
The annual break even game in the first round for them.
What you mean where they go on the road? Except this time they don't have to pay for hotels.
Because it's the only way they break even on a game.
Hey, maybe they'll apply to host.
That costs money
I understand.
and upfront money. They're poor.
But yeah,
They're sometimes good at soccer, but they're poor.
They're good at like murder ball.
Well,
No,
hey,
they're not.
listen, it's League One, man.
I'd like to see us make a little run in the Open Cup this year. It's time. We haven't had a run in a while. It's time, and I think we're set up to have a better run. Knock on wood. I think if we play one of these championship teams,
Be a good game.
I think we're gonna match up better than we have in the past because we have more athleticism that we haven't had. I think we have the same level of experience in which we matched up okay, but like we were kind of dominated by teams that had more athleticism and more quality. And I think we now have this same quality we had, but with more athleticism, aka just a lot of better
I
players.
just hope we get another home game.
Me too.
If we win the first one, I hope we get another home game.
100% agree.
Chris.
First of all, Chris, I don't think you'll hear this, but thank you for what you gave to us, what you gave to Chattanooga, what you gave to this podcast. You spent a lot of generous time, including like a few weeks ago, podcast curse, coming on here with us. And for real, thank you. You are one of us forever. Whatever happens. It's a tough game, but you represented us well, and you were once a Blue, always a Blue applies to you too. And I'm gonna miss Chris the person and Chris the soccer coach. He was I was kind of unexpected, and he was here for a while, and these things are always hard.
Yeah. 100%.
Because it's not just about, and it's not just about it's not just about wins and losses, though those matter too. It's not just about X's and O's. It's about the person too. And Chris the person is and was a phenomenal member of this community of Blues.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was a little caught off guard.
Let's definitely talk about that now. Yeah.
He was a new head coach, and we made the playoffs and
Got a home game.
there was some ups and downs in the season. Overall, I thought this, we talked about this. We rated the season and all that stuff. And so I wouldn't have been surprised if there were some conversations that had been had about this. These are the things we want to do better and that kind of stuff. That's going to happen. But I was not expecting that.
Had this happened,
not knowing what's going on behind, but not knowing or not asking or not really, it's none of my business, what's kind of been going on behind closed doors, I was surprised.
I was also shocked. I will say, did not see it, especially in the preseason.
Yeah, it was like, so. I'll just say this now. I've said it to several people. Whatever reason there was to separate was known in October.
Had to have been.
Yeah, and so
because you wouldn't have seen a parting of ways amicably this time of the year.
Yeah, you knew this in October and November after the team was largely created.
I agree.
I don't know why you wait until 4 weeks before the season started. I don't know. Was it 4?
Yeah, exactly. I agree. And you and I are reading tea leaves, right? Because we don't know what happened.
I don't know.
But we are assuming that something, because it was amicable, very amicable. Yeah. Chris posted about it. They posted about it. Like, everybody left on, like, quote unquote good terms. Like, very clearly this was not the same as, we all know that a mutual parting of ways is never truly mutual, right?
Yeah.
But it does appear that this one was one where maybe he was happy to leave. Maybe he knew it was time. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Mm-hmm. But reading this wasn't like Chris punched a player and spit on a waiter.
Yeah.
Spit on a waiter's a throwback. But wow. To something that happened with another team. But it's not with us. Not with us, to be clear.
That's balls to the walls, my friends.
Hey. But so something of that egregious nature didn't happen. I'm reading the tea leaves, because if that would have happened, I think the messaging would have been much different.
Yeah,
I believe it is
reading the tea leaves.
Yes.
There was a leadership issue.
I believe that
there was a problem. I don't mean Chris didn't have leadership. There was a problem with leadership, some type of issue between the coaching staff and front office, or something like that,
or players and coaching staff.
Yeah, I don't.
I agree.
Right. Something like that, but again, I go back to. All of that had to have been known in October and November.
I agree.
And so I don't understand why, it would have, we wait until, that's the only question I have, is why did we wait until February?
I could not agree more. I have also tried to ask, because I'm nosy, and no one will tell me anything, which is the correct thing, which is the correct thing, which means this is all total speculation on my part. But I agree with everything you said. The only coaches come and go, players come and go. The club is bigger than that. And but I'm very frustrated and perplexed by the timing of it, and I think that's we need to. Also, what matters here is now we have, and we'll talk about interim Rich.
Mm-hmm. But I would say, other than challenging me to a duel on this podcast, I really enjoyed Chris.
By the way, that's one of my favorite things he's ever did. Was him challenging you to a duel. I think that we have to get the next one right. That's
absolutely.
Look, Chris was in something that Matt and I talked about. Is Chris was given this job when we didn't have a sporting director, when we had moved on from Rod, and when he was helping build the roster, helping making roster decisions, when they didn't have a hierarchy of soccer to make those decisions. And he had an up and down first year, which is always going to happen with a new head coach.
Well, it's going to happen with any coach.
And so looking at that, it was like, okay, I understand how we got here. Maybe Chris was ready. Maybe Chris wasn't. The fact that they separated, I'm going to say he got fired, assuming that it was, these things are never truly mutual. But however it was, he moved on, was moved on. That tells me that there were probably things about him being a new coach, right? Which I would assume we would have let him grow through. But if it didn't work, it didn't work. Now you move into Richard Dixon as interim. He's not been given that title has not been taken away. Whoever comes next, whether it's Richard or someone else, and we'll talk about Richard as interim, as the next head coach, we have to get this right. This needs to be a 3-year plus roster build type of coaching hire. That is my belief. Soccer is pretty cyclical, and I think 3 years is kind of the minimum amount of time you attempt to build for. But
isn't it also kind of the maximum for a third division coach?
Not necessarily, because
Like 3 to 5, maybe.
I think you start with 3 and then you probably just do kind of cycles of 3.
so think about the players.
Unless you're Bob Lilly and you spend 47 years in one place.
Well, yeah.
So think about
We need to have a little whenever Bob Lilly's name comes up.
Little bing.
Yeah.
between 2 and 3 years is often like the project limit for a head coach, for a manager in Europe. But you're talking about guys that are getting 5 and 6 year contracts when they sign, when they pay a transfer fee and they put some real like time behind those contracts. In the lower divisions, it is only very recently that guys were getting anything more than a 1+1, 1 year and an option.
Talking about players or coaches?
Players.
Okay.
Yeah.
And even in those cases, you're looking at a lot of 2+1s. I have seen a 3-year deal for a player before, and go off. Like Louisville can do some stuff like that.
But look at our he's talking about building projects wise, I think. So he's going.
Okay.
So if you think about coaches, you're not really putting a lot of guys on multi-year deals. Like the set of players, like you have 2 new players or 3 new players for a season, right? That's Europe. The US, you might have 8, 10, 12, 16 new players.
If you're a next pro, 20.
So you're turning over the
yeah.
roster, which means that the same head coach saying the same stuff is still fresh because the voices hearing it are fresh. Whereas in Europe, the players are the ones that remain the same. So you have to have fresh voice every now and then.
Well, I guess I look at it.
It is the reason why, in addition to other reasons like not spending any money, Daniel Levy, like the Tottenham project fell apart at the end under Mauricio Pochettino because it was his voice over and over again, and the players never were refreshed.
Yeah.
And therefore his voice eventually became stale.
Well, so I guess I look at it like almost like a mid-major coach in college basketball. Like you've got about 3 years, and in 3 years, they're gonna maintain whatever the program profile is. The profile's going to go down. They're probably going to get fired in 3 or 4 years, or they're going to do really well, and then somebody's going to poach them.
I think we want to be the type of club where other teams want to poach our club, or want to poach our players and our coaches.
Right. And so I think a coach comes here, and in 3 years, where we make a deep run into next pro playoffs. I don't know. That's why I think about 3-4 years, maybe I would say 3 to 5.
I agree. I agree with that.
Seems to be.
I like that. I agree with that for a college basketball that was in the 2010s.
Well, I know.
Because only 22 seniors in college basketball graduating seniors this year.
Yeah.
Only 22 of them have been with the same school for the last 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah,
Holy NIL Batman!
Oh yeah, it's just nuts. It's nuts.
Get that bag, boys.
It's crazy.
The changing of college basketball and college football too. Basketball's been crazy. It's very similar to lower division soccer, except like there's money.
Yeah.
Like they're talking about.
Except you've got 18-year-olds making $1 million.
Yeah, they're talking about like Xavier, like
so
my alma mater, with a $6 million budget this year, like a $6 million player budget this year for like 12 to 15 guys. They're talking about like a $10 million budget for next year.
Oh yeah,
like this is bananas stuff.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's crazy.
Like
it's absolutely.
There's a different world out there.
A whole new world.
All right, let's get back to.
Yeah, sorry for that digression, but
no, there's good. I think it's good talk, and also welcome. First of all, welcome, Rich, club legend, club captain.
Yep.
Now has been coaching obviously since he played under Peter Fuller.
Yep.
He coached and played under Rod Underwood.
Yep.
He coached under Chris Nugent, and now he is the interim head coach. I think that is interesting that they gave him the interim tag, and I think it's good. I also think it's this the one thing Peter Fuller and Rod Underwood, if you knew them both, which 3 of us did, agreed on, and probably the only thing they ever agreed on, basically, is that Richard Dixon would be a head coach one day.
And
don't forget, he also played under Bill Elliott.
And they both thought it would be here.
And so I don't know if it's Rich's time for the interim tag to come off because it's just too early to know any of that. But I think it's exciting and terrifying that he's the head coach. And the reason it's terrifying, I think you two will echo this, but Matt and I have talked about it. Jim and you and I haven't. This roster was not built for Richard, first of all, right? It was built with and for Chris. I know they have a collaborative process. I know Rich and all of the assistant coaches are involved. We asked Sebastian about that, right, on this podcast. But like this roster wasn't built with Rich planning the entire preseason and putting the entire preseason together and putting the whole roster together. So how well does it suit Rich? I don't know. Also, Richard didn't come into this season preparing to be the head coach and being the performance person. And if you know Richard is one of the most, and I mean this is a compliment, regimented, organized, and competent human beings I've ever been around. And there's a reason that every head coach said he was going to be a head coach someday. Peter Fuller called him, as a compliment, a real bastard when he was the captain because of the way he was able to lead men in the way that Peter Fuller liked. He meant that, again, as a pure compliment. And so obviously this is a man and a coach that is hopefully set out for leadership, but this wasn't the plan. And so do we burn him out? Do we potentially remove him or fire him if results don't go well? Those are my fears. Those are the things that I fear. If the club has a plan, and I have been told that they have no intentions of doing that. They said, hey, we are also cognizant of this. These are obviously quietly, but hey, we're cognizant of these things. He's interim. We're going to be careful. We love Rich too. We don't plan to burn him out and fire him. So as long as they are cognizant of that, I think this is a wonderful opportunity for Rich, and I'm very excited about it. And I think that having somebody with a steady hand who has been here for a while, who the guys know to steady the ship and do the thing, as we either search for the next head coach or it becomes apparent that Rich is the next guy, is very exciting. And yeah, you guys can add anything to that.
No, I think I agree with all of that.
Yeah, I think the only I think this is kind of what you're saying. The only concern I have is that this wasn't the exact right time for him to get his first gig.
Yes,
and that's. But
welcome to pro soccer.
Right, I was going to say I don't know that. I mean, I know about as much about this as I guess anybody listening to this, but I maybe not. I don't know if that even happens anywhere.
You've been a manager of humans, right? Like,
yeah.
I assume that like the first time you get a management job.
Oh, it's you don't know. You have no idea. What I mean, I'm like everybody else who's worked for somebody. I frequently looked at my supervisor and been like, "What do you do?" And then you get that first supervisor job, and it's like, "Oh, this is what you did." Okay,
yeah.
And then you're learning how to supervise for the next 20 years of your career. I mean, it's just something you don't really. So yeah, I get it. I mean, at first, there's nothing like moving from like an assistant to the person, and I hope it either it clicks, this is the right time, or it's known that among everybody that okay, I need a year or two, and everybody allows that.
That's what I was going to say. Like we the fans, we the supporters, and we the community of Chattanooga Football Club need to give Richard grace and time. Whether things go phenomenally well or poorly, he has to have room to make mistakes that we maybe wouldn't give somebody that is has a 20-year. I'll use Rod Underwood as an example. Not that we had big problems with Rod Underwood. Rod Underwood came in a fully formed coach out of NISA who had been a head coach, who had a distinguished playing career, and we knew that Rod Underwood, and we could have blamed Rod Underwood, and we were critical at times of little pieces, though I think Rod's a very good soccer coach, but we could be hard on Rod in a way we cannot be hard on Richard. Because Richard is the beginning of the career, and Rod was further along in the career. You can add Peter Fuller, whoever you want, to this.
I'll give a perfect example of like making a mistake and then learning. Because I know he'll never make this mistake again.
Because you were apoplectic about it in the middle of 109.
I was so bad. In the second half of the Connecticut game, we were preparing to make our second sub with our second moment, and then Matthias Hanchard goes down, and we did not hold the sub in order to get a double substitution done because it was going to be Keegan for Alex Krell, who had a phenomenal fucking game.
AK-23.
2 goals and an assist, penalty drawn, just brilliant work. In about 64 minutes, Matthias Hanchard goes down. they're preparing the sub, and that sub takes place, and then
5 minutes later.
4 minutes later, 5 minutes later, Nathan Kohler subs on for Matthias Hanchard. Well, boom, there's 3 subs, there's 3 moments. The game allows 5 subs in 3 moments. So if anything happened for the remaining 22 minutes plus stoppage time,
and one might
we
remember
were just shit out of luck.
And one might remember that Eldon went down for about 3 minutes, and Matthew, I think, literally shit his pants in the section.
I was so mad. That is an error that did not come back to bite us, but it could have. Whether it was Eldon or whether there was some other issue, and then you're down to 10, right? Those are the kinds of things that. Those are the kinds of things, like, that was a legitimate mistake, and it didn't bite us. We still got 3 points. Everyone knows it's a mistake, and you've lived it once. You're not ever going to do it again.
Yeah,
and that's the kind of thing that, like, we have to remember that this is new, and things are chaotic. And sometimes you slip on something. No big deal.
Yep, and that is a relatively easy fix.
Yeah.
All the coaching staff had to do was realize in that moment that, we got a player down. We hold the sub. They wait. Nathan Kohler finishes prepping, and they come in together. And he was screaming about it when it was happening. Obviously, it's easy to Monday morning quarterback, and it all worked out. But I agree with exactly what you said. We have to be in particular for Rod Underwood. We would have been rightly like, what the fuck, man? Because like you expect him to know that. And with Richard Dixon, new head coach, and with Chris last year, to be fair, like you look at a guy and you say, hey, like that sucks. Don't make that second mistake again. But like you can't and shouldn't hold them to the same standard. And I hope we remember that as the season goes on. And obviously I hope we have many more nights like last night.
Yeah, for sure.
It ruled.
And
we almost got to see a field player in goal.
So Chris departs.
Who do you think it would have been?
Keegan.
I think Keegan too. Based on nothing else, I just think it would have been Keegan.
Also, like, keep your defensive structure the same. Take your striker.
Yeah, Keegan. He seems to be.
He's tall. He's athletic. Like
and a little
crazy. Yeah, it's perfect. And exactly what you need for a goalkeeper.
It's either him or Tate, because Tate can do anything.
That's true. That's true. Oh, Tate would have pitched a clean sheet for sure.
Although you're giving up a few inches there if you do that.
Yeah.
All right. So let's keep this train on the tracks. Chris departs the club. Thank you, Chris. We'll miss you. Best of luck whatever you do next. Adam Reiki is also gone. I don't think that's been publicly announced, but he's not been on the sideline for any of the preseason games. And
I want to say the similar thing that I said for Chris. Like, Adam, as a human, was incredible. As a head coach, as an assistant coach, I'm very grateful for his work. On this podcast, he was wonderfully generous and great after every game, whether on the road or at home. He always showed his face, and you guys know that means a lot to me. We win together. We also mourn our losses together.
Yep.
And he was an excellent human and a good soccer coach. And we are lesser without the two of them. And I will miss them. And yeah, I hope best of luck to both of them professionally and personally and whatever comes next.
Yeah. More news. Juan Hernandez is not going to return as the women's head coach. He is keeping his academy position, but is not going to be involved in the women's first team. He also had a kid
who was at the game
yesterday. Who was at the game? Adorable.
And this is reading the tea leaves still. It seems to me that based on some of the stuff he said in the interview clips that he had talking about it, seems to me he's just like continuing doing what he's doing, but not taking on more. And I suspect a chunk of that is, just had a kid.
Yeah. I hope that's what it is. It was a head shaker for me too. I don't understand.
And he coaches already 4 nights a week in the academy plus the women's team. I am guessing here, and I am also hopiuming this because I do not want there to be anything else behind that. I don't want to lose 2 head coaches in the same offseason but I think it is instructive to me because he is still keeping his exact same position and he just had a kid. I'm hoping that that's the reason. Yeah. And I'm hoping we can have him on the podcast to talk about it at some point. Just wasn't the best timing over the last month.
Yeah. Majo Harrisburg is the new...
I'm sure you nailed that.
Is the new...
That's for her, not you.
Is the new women's team head coach. She was an assistant last year. Yeah, and there's a full staff. as well. I think
it's also instructive here too that Marin remains a member of the staff but didn't take the head coaching position from the associate head coach.
Yeah, she's now the IDP coach. So I think that's more of a connection between academy and first team. They're adding an assistant coach named Micah Varner, who was, I Googled him at one point, an academy coach at or like a high school coach in Knoxville area. He also had a PDL job, League 2 job, W League, I don't know, something. He had something out in Colorado at one point. I wonder if that's how he got connected to the like Colorado State, I think is where he was at one point. Emmanuel is also one of the assistant coaches. And JD Myers is back. And then, yeah. So that's the women's team's coaching staff. We should get a schedule relatively soon. It's March. That typically happens around this point in time.
I am excited.
So be on the lookout for the women's team schedule.
Excited, but also like with this the way the conference
the conference reorg is. Woo, it's a gauntlet.
Oh my! I mean, it's what the hell? I mean, what the actual hell?
It's a gauntlet.
I agree.
You've got two of the best. Well, we'll talk about it later, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay, what was next? Yuval Cohen getting injured in the Knoxville game. That's a long-term injury. He had surgery. Do not have a timeline yet on him. But
fuck the entirety of League One, the USL system, and in particular Knoxville, who commits assault every time they come into Finley Stadium.
So it was a break, right?
Yeah,
he broke his arm.
So that's like, I mean, this is going to sound crazy, but breaking an arm is better than like
tearing an ACL,
a ligament.
I agree.
So like eight weeks.
My understanding,
I think it's gonna be longer than that.
I heard 3 to 4 months.
Oh, okay.
But that was
that's not a simple break.
That was the day of the game.
Okay.
So that would have been pre-X-rays. That would have been pre all the other things. So I don't know if that was true or that was definitely speculation. I don't know but I do know. Like
I put it in the 3 to 5 months category though.
They're not.
Okay.
They're not expecting him back
for a while.
They are expecting him back this season.
That's
though.
bad. That's awful. That's awful.
I think it was a pretty bad break.
Yeah,
it
must be.
A lot of guys play with casts, so I wonder. Like, I don't know. I am not a medical person. Did he break it up here so he can't play with a cast? Because like it would be like here to here. Sorry, those not on video. Did he break his wrist? Like, did he break multiple places? Like, I don't know the answer to that. But if they're saying a long time, because if it was just his wrist, as an example, you'd think he'd be back in like 6 weeks because put a cast on it and don't hit anybody.
It sounds like multiple breaks.
So it sounds like to me too. But that's speculating about things I don't actually know about.
Yes. Yeah.
A signing was made not too long after that. Trialist Alex Krell.
Yeah.
Sir, that is goal scorer and assister and penalty drawer AK-23.
AK-23.
I hope he's okay. But like he made a run and
pulled up with his hamstring.
Pulled up. And then 2 minutes later he's off. And so I hope I felt something. I need to sit down and get off before any damage is done.
I was screaming, "Don't run after the ball!"
Yeah,
after that,
exactly.
And then he went and ran after the ball and laid down when the next dead ball, and I was like, "Son of a bitch!"
Yeah.
Hopefully, it was like you said, just a little feeling, but fuck me.
Yeah, we've had a few. I feel like we've had a few early injuries, kind of like that so far.
The thing that I will say that makes me a little I mean, these are shitty things, but they have been in game and they've not been in practice so far. Knock on some wood. That matters because like there was a couple years ago where we had a shitload of injuries in practice, and it was like, how are we having all these injuries in practice? Like, what are we doing?
Full contact.
So like, it sucks to have them in, but if it happens in a game, it's like fuck. Like,
yeah. Well, I will note that our bench was only 19 last night, so.
That's fair too.
2 goalkeepers.
Oh, there might have been some more in practice I don't know
about. But anyway, Alex Krell signed.
Welcome, Alex.
He had spent like essentially 4 years in Spain. Didn't go to college in the U.S.
Did he do the Nathan Kohler route essentially?
I don't know if there was an education involved, but like kind of, yeah. And I think he played in PDL last summer for DeKalb near Chicago area where he's from, and then
Isn't
went
that
back.
DeKalb in Atlanta?
They went back to Spain, and then left Spain to come on trial here at CFC, and got signed, and then started the first 2 games of the regular season.
Yeah, I thought in particular in this game he was excellent.
I thought it was great.
He's had multiple. He's made a bunch of really, really good runs.
Mm-hmm.
Was involved in the first goal against Crown Legacy.
I thought in particular thing that stood out to me, and he's been a lot of different things he's been solid or good at, but his positioning is, especially offensively, his runs are really, really good. He holds his run for the ball that Anthony plays into him on that eventually gets saved, and then DBJ finishes. Like, he holds his run beautifully and picks it out.
His channel running reminds me of Mehdi a lot.
Mm-hmm. That's a good shout.
Yeah. So.
Well, I thought it was a really good sign. I mean, because I like Keegan, and he came in right. He came right in and started.
Yeah, and I also thought Keegan's substitute appearance last night was really good too.
Yeah, I just like he just. There's just this little bit of absolute chaos with the way Keegan plays that I just absolutely love.
I do too, and I thought last night in particular he came in with something to prove, because he was a fighting.
I mean, I can't remember. He had his dribble. I mean, he was like a bull within China. He's like, I've got the ball, and I know that there are 3 people in my way, but I don't really care.
Yeah, it's exactly right.
Okay, we've got 2 things to update, the last 2 on the list, and then we can talk about the game a little bit more. Mm-hmm. What do you want to do?
You do one, I'll do the Ella one. I don't remember which ones they are.
Are we going to talk about Ella and the game kind of together?
Sure. I'm going to talk about Ella first, and then we'll talk about Ella and the game.
Okay. So the other one is if you're listening to this, the Chatter Hooligans have existed on Slack for a number of years as a messaging and kind of community online
we got
place.
We got off Facebook and started being on Slack.
Yeah, we
just make sure we go until a platform dies, and then we.
So yeah. Well, anyway, we have converted the Chatter Hooligan Slack to Discord. It is going to be. This is me speaking as podcast Matthew, not necessarily like Hooligan Matthew, but it is much more of a bigger community than just Are You in 109 every week. We want it to be a fun and social place for people to get to know each other a little bit, to be able to talk about games or signings or news or
organize away
trips, to talk about painting tifo or writing songs or
playing drums
or life stuff
or tailgate stuff. Lots of life stuff.
So
how do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah.
That's how I feel, because I am not a Discord person. I'm
learning
quickly.
If you're interested in that, you can reach out to any of us, and we'll attempt to find a link to get you on there.
One of the really good parts of Discord is it is easier to join than Slack was.
Yeah, by far.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's searchable. I think you do need a link. Mm-hmm. So we will try to help you find one if you are interested in joining.
And also, you go in with your real name or a nickname that is specific to you. We're not an anonymous type of organization, just so everybody knows.
Yeah. So anyway, there's that.
The people know who I am.
Everyone knows who you are by your nickname. Listen, my name's not Breezy, so.
Okay, I think that brings us to the last week.
Yeah, big life update. So a lot of you will know, I think we shared some stuff on the podcast channels, and I shared some stuff publicly, but the last 7.5 months, my wife Ella was battling a rare form of brain cancer. We kept it pretty private, although we have been well taken care of and well loved by those who knew, including the 2 gentlemen in the room here, and she passed away last Wednesday. It was expected as the cancer came back about 5 weeks ago, about 6 weeks ago, I guess now, which corresponds with our hiatus from podcasting, as I spent 4 straight weeks in the hospital. So, first of all, I guess I wanted to share that because I haven't shared that publicly on the podcast before now. I was really grateful to a lot of people from the Chatterlooing community, obviously, that have been a part of this, and I don't have all the emotional bandwidth to try to even put into words what everybody has, how loved we truly felt and I feel. Ella felt very, very loved and surrounded by the people she loved, and that included, in particular, these people. People that surrounded CFC. Something I said, and I will continue to say, is that my parents' generation their church was the center of their community, and the way they organized their life, especially socially. And CFC has been my quote unquote church in that way for a long time. And I have a church as well. I am a person of faith. I've returned to that after a few years away, which has been helpful in case anybody was wondering or looking for answers. But in addition to that, I always said that if something happened, and I assumed something would happen to me, I figured I would do something stupid and put myself in a bad situation and maybe get hit by a bus or something, that would be the people that would take care of my wife. It turned out that I guess the universe had a different idea. And these are the people that did take care of my wife, but they also took care of me. And she wasn't alone in the hospital when I was in Romania when she originally went in the hospital. People like Matt made sure she wasn't alone in the hospital, and many others. And they made sure we were never alone. So, there'll be I'm sure some tribute stuff. CFC gave me the game ball. I have it off the screen there, which was super meaningful. We can talk about some of the moments in the game that were also super meaningful. But yeah, I guess that's kind of the update personally. Albert, there were probably other people there too that may listen to the podcast, but Albert, dude, thank you. We don't really know each other outside of the podcast and one meeting in Atlanta. So thank you for coming to the memorial. I truly felt and feel between the game and our time all spent together celebrating her life on Saturday, like I feel immensely loved. And yeah, it means a lot. I don't have much left. I don't have much else outside of community to be happy about. And I can tell you I don't know what people do that don't have what I have. And I also know that my in-laws came away blown away, not just about Saturday, which was a big day, but blown away by how much Ella was loved, and how much we've been loved, and how people here and the community we have here. They said, my mother-in-law literally said word for word Sunday morning before she left that I never knew how much she was loved and appreciated. You don't know until you see it and you feel it. And it's a really pretty thing. So I'd like to actually go to a moment now in the game that happened.
Take it.
So Alice McGrath, I'm going to set the table for anyone who didn't know. Alice McGrath is coming back off of 10 years. 10 years. It felt like 10 years.
10 years.
10 years away.
He hadn't played in a game in 11 months.
Okay, it's 11 months. Beautiful. 11 months ago, Alex sacrificed his knees for a draw away at Atlanta, at Kennesaw. And so he's been working on coming back. Alex has been at the club for, I think, 5 years now? Or is this his fourth season? I don't know.
22, 23, 24, 25, 26.
So this is season 5. Alex was also at the funeral home for Ella's celebration of life, like meant a lot. Shout out to Tate as well and all the other former players that came. I don't want to keep mentioning people by name because then it excludes others that were also there. But it meant a lot. And so at the game, he's coming back. It's his first appearance after 11 months. Mm-hmm. It's a start. In the 37th minute, Ella was 37 when she passed away. He stole the ball by himself, scored a one-on-one goal, came straight over to the Chattanooga section, celebrated, found me in the crowd, pointed at me, blew a kiss, pounded his chest. Her picture came up on the screen, and I'm going to cry now. But he said after the game in his press conference that if they send it to me, and they usually send it to me, I'll string it in here after this. But he said he had a little help in scoring that, and I told him after the game, and I believe I think if you put this in a Hallmark movie, we'd all be like, "Geez, that's a little on the nose, man." I don't think that's real likely, but to have that be how it went was unfucking believable.
And I think you said you at the moment you didn't really realize what time.
I didn't.
I'll tell you, everybody in the back row where I was sitting, everybody realized exactly what had happened, and
I knew as well because I was getting ready to cue the chill out.
The reaction of the folks in the back, Mary and a bunch of other people. It was.
So he was. I didn't know. My thoughts went exactly like this. I was so excited for the goal, and I was celebrating, and I was so happy for him. And it was obviously a super emotional day for me. So I was just in that. I was very in the moment. I was very in the moment, and I wasn't thinking about Ella, to be honest, at all in that moment, because I was celebrating the goal, and I was celebrating and looking at somebody, and people were hitting me. Because
I 100% hate
because
you.
Alex was screaming my name.
Yeah.
And then he was pointing at me, and that was,
We had to get you to turn around.
and
Classic.
that of course, because I was, and that made me, of course, very emotional. And that's when her picture came
right
up,
when.
and
Yeah,
that's
yes.
when I knew, when her picture came up, and I fucking lost it. But like,
Yeah, it was amazing.
again, a movie script, you would be like, man, that's a little unbelievable. Like, can you write a little more believable script? But I think, it could not have been, there could not have been a more cathartic or beautiful moment to memorialize that. And
Yeah, it was real special.
let's talk about the rest of the game. And then, of course, beginning after the game, like everybody was,
Game was real cagey to start. If I just talk, I won't cry. The game was super cagey to start. Both teams feeling each other out. Not a lot of action going on. A lot of midfield stuff.
So I got there, I was a little late. I got there in the 13th minute, and there were 0 shots for either team, 0 anythings in the counting stats. And when I rewatched last night, because I thought like, well, maybe Fatma missed something or whatever.
No.
There was literally not. Every time someone went to
Nothing
shoot, someone
happened.
would just steal the ball. Every final pass, someone would steal for either team. It was, tense.
It started slow, like, two, I think, decent teams feeling each other out. And, it kind of all kicks off once there's a corner that gets recycled, ball bounces around a little bit. Connecticut player shoots from outside the box through traffic. Eldon makes an unbelievable save. Then just a couple minutes later, a weird sequence where Connecticut's able to play through and play forward, and the ball Eldon comes out of the goal a little bit to make the angle smaller, and we defend it pretty decently, and ball chops up, and it just falls perfectly right to Kasule, who just lobs it straight home. And
I didn't know it was Kasule until later. And it makes sense because at the beginning of the season last year for Red Bull, he was unbelievable.
He was real good.
And I was like, those motherfuckers now have him
That
too.
was a frustrating goal to give. I mean,
it's frustrating, but it's, you can do, it's soccer. You can do everything right. And like the ball just bounces a little weird and it falls to a guy and he does a thing. Like,
yeah.
That he could have easily skied that. He could have easily shanked it. But he put it on target, and that's the way it went. I thought that goal galvanized us. I really felt like those guys just said, okay, fuck this. Like, it's time to go here. And right from the jump, and I mean right from the jump, we immediately go down, and little chaotic sequence. Alex Krell comes away with it, and a Connecticut player had stepped, and Krell had won the duel, and just slides it, and Tate's just on rushing, and then Tate has a great finish.
5 holes him.
I didn't even see it. I was still pissed about the goal. I was still.
You went
I
full.
was talking to somebody about and then everybody started screaming, and I look up and
We call that going full Matthew.
Tate's running, and I'm like, what? I have no idea what happened.
So first of all, I thought it was Alex. Just because I saw the 3, I didn't see the 33. It was a scramble, and then when he peeled away, I was like, "Oh shit, that's Tate!" And the perfect finish,
Just brilliant finish.
So I will watch that again. MLS next.
you're gonna
watch.
you're gonna enjoy. It's a
Yeah.
good finish,
Yeah,
perfect timing on a keeper that was very good on the night, even though he conceded 4 goals.
He was. Yeah,
So
he stopped.
that was our first shot of the game, and great finish by Tate, and like you just felt the lift of like, bang, let's go, let's keep it up.
Yeah,
and from then onwards, and I'll find exactly when that goal was. It was the 23rd minute. From then onwards, from then the next 14 minutes until the 37th minute when Alex scores to take the lead, it's just an onslaught. It's if it wasn't shots, it was danger adjacency. It was putting pressure on, getting corners, like trying shit.
Alex had a scissor kick from close that the keeper made a fantastic close and save. Like we could have easily had one or two more.
Alex McGrath or AK?
Alex McGrath.
Okay. AK has a big chance that gets saved inside the 6. I think it's a cross by Alex.
Yeah, so the cross by Alex.
AK,
and the keeper knew nothing about that. It's just that his position.
Positioning was perfect.
Yeah. So some really good stuff. I think Tate had a couple of shots. One saved. I think one went over the bar. Just like creating stuff, doing like getting the ball in dangerous areas and doing things with it. Which is such a positive development to see because it happened so many times in the game. And it kind of happened a bunch with fewer shots. A bunch against Crown.
So yeah, I was going to say the thing that I've noticed so far, and we are 2 games, so huge sample size or small sample size and huge extrapolations here. We get vertical so much more effectively in these 2 games than we have the past 2 years. There was a time in Nisa where we also got pretty vertical pretty quickly, or pretty effectively rather, but we are able to, when we turn somebody over, and we're not like the team we just played against, Connecticut, is soccer perverts. Like Red Bull, the second it turns over, you pass forward. You never pass back. Like they are incredibly aggressively forward. We're not quite so tilted, but we are pretty aggressive at getting forward. And we saw it in the first game. Tate had a ball against Crown Legacy where he played it first time into the channel, and Anthony did magic and crossed it. And I think it gets saved by DBJ. I think that's the play. We had another one in this one where somebody makes the same type of thing where it's the ball's bouncing around, comes back 2 yards, and then immediately first time played into the channel to an on-rushing player, and we are in. Like that's a thing that we weren't able to do for a couple reasons the last couple of years. I think one, because we weren't able to press as effectively. And number 2, biggest thing is we did not have the athletic profile. And that's both quality of player and also just quality of athlete that we could get. How many times did you see one player on a break against 4 people the last couple of years? And this year, it's only 2 games in, but we have much more often had a 3-on-3 or a 3-on-2 or a 3-on-4 or a 4-on-3.
Yeah.
So there are runners. And we are making up the distance and getting chances vertically, which lets us destabilize defense instead of us being the ones that are getting destabilized and run at. We are doing a lot of that ourselves.
We've created 11 big chances, according to FOTMob and SofaScore, which uses the same input data. We've created 11 big chances in the first 2 games of the season. Now,
and I was a little surprised when I saw 7 big chances yesterday. I don't.
It's probably a little high.
I didn't feel that,
but also I think it was at least 5.
Well, I mean, he had the goals and then the save.
Ashton has a header. That's a big chance. It's close. You have the scissor kick is, I think, a reasonably big chance. The one you just talked about, the save, is a pretty big chance. You could take away any one of those if you wanted to, but I don't think you take away 2 of them. Yeah. Plus, does a penalty count as a big chance?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And we had another penalty later in the game that was clear cut.
The referee put the chalk or the spray and placed the ball on the box.
And if you watch the replay, he was multiple steps in the box.
The box is in the box. I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah, I don't either.
We had a back pass. We had a little bit of everything.
Oh, buddy.
I need to
a back pass that was placed 7 yards away from where it should have been.
I need to go back and watch that.
To help us.
Yeah, I need to go back and watch that.
So in 2 games, we have created 11 big chances. Using the same standard, in 2025, we created 49.
Total.
Yeah.
This team is fundamentally different in how it wants to do things compared to the last couple of years, and it appears to be able to achieve those targets.
At least for now.
In this short sample size.
Well, something we talked about that I think, remember how excited we all were for DBJ?
Yeah. Didn't even play today.
Yeah.
It's not that I did a little digging. It sounds like he had a minor injury, and they're just keeping him carefully.
He was on the bench.
He was on the bench. He could have played, but I think they're just, I don't know details about it, but it sounds like they're just being careful. But a guy like DBJ, I'll use him as an example, he's just a really, really good player, very technical and very athletic, and comfortable both under pressure, but also comfortable turning and getting in transition. A guy like Eves and Anton like on your two fullbacks that are able to get forward and back because athletically they have ability, and obviously both are very good technical players as well. I've been really impressed with especially Anton's ability to play balls in behind, like his timing on some of his balls in behind, and then Yves, his assist with his off foot is, but we haven't even got there. Like
there's a little bit of, I mean, there's for people who want, for me who is encouraged about what may be to come, I can think of 3 or 4 times where there were underlapping runs that just weren't seen.
Yes.
And
Anton and Mango had a bunch of underlaps,
and
a couple of them came off, and a bunch of them didn't. But the ideas that I'm seeing,
it was, and some were even just
really interesting.
The player, I think, saw it late, and so I think when they can anticipate that the fullback's going to make that, or whoever makes the underlapping or overlapping run is going to do that, we're going to get in more. I mean, we're going to get, because they were open. I mean, these were not runs that there was no chance of the player getting the ball. If the player had seen the run, that we would have had even more chances. So I think that is encouraging me going forward, that the players will get to know each other better.
Yes,
and will anticipate those runs.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I'll also little shout. A lot of guys had good games last night, but Isaiah cleans up so many messes in the middle. He does good things, and he did some wonderful things in possession last night that I was very impressed with, that I honestly didn't know he had in his bag of tools. That I was like, ooh, that's a nice pass. That's nice.
You would see this in preseason with him a lot. He just like has that thing that players coming up in the MLS Academy systems just have now.
And he annoys the hell out of the opposite.
Yes.
They were not happy with him.
You can play.
He didn't seem to give a shit either, which I loved. He wasn't like the one talking in their ear, and then he was just bullying 3 guys at once.
They did not like him.
He's big. He's athletic.
He is big. I didn't realize
he
that.
can cover ground.
He's grown several inches from when he played against us at Huntsville.
Right.
And he will play just first time balls out. Like, you can play to him under pressure and he'll spin out of it. You can play a little bit in possession, and because he's so big and so he attracts defenders to him, and then he just moves his ass around to keep them from taking the ball.
He has the same,
but also when you give him just a little bit of an inch and he attracts all that pressure in the middle of the field, he'll just one touch it out. But whether he's bumping it back or he'll start the switch of play. And this has happened multiple times, whereas I feel like Sixes in the past, with no disrespect, but Sixes in the past, because we are going to a new level of player, and especially in this year, and this year compared to some other years, just the technical ability combined with the athleticism is just different. And
he has a partner too. I mean,
it helps.
Playing a two-man defense is,
yes.
I mean that actually, that's something that we should spend a little time on. Tate's a DM now.
Yes,
and he was real good last night.
He was really good.
I was, when I saw him in the midfield, I'm like, oh, here we go. We're taking our best fullback, and are we going to actually make 2 positions?
I agree. I had the same thought.
And I was,
I think Tate's position is still right back.
Agreed.
I think if because of that, Tate at right back is 100% of Tate, right? Mm-hmm. I think Tate at defensive midfield is, I'm not going to put an actual percentage on it, but is it 90%? Is it 95% of what full Tate can be? But I think given the personnel right now that we have, and given Yves has been really, really good the last couple games. I think
our best 11 has Tate in the.
I think it just makes sense. Yeah. And he's got an athletic player next to him to cover ground, and Yves is unbelievably athletic. So when the game does get stretched, his ability to cover was invaluable. I saw Yves on the left side of both center backs on multiple occasions, helping cover ground and clean up stuff. That is just so invaluable.
That is simply a thing we have not had
for this team.
Well, the midfield
Tate
is just...
and Tate's ability in midfield to be almost to be a settling point. He's gonna Like he knows when to play forward, to play out wide, to go back to Eldon and restart things. And he's got just a nasty big switch in him, going both directions.
One thing that I really enjoyed,
And he scores goals.
I really enjoyed about so that partnership. I think I agree with everything you said. That partnership. If you take out Isaiah, I think you need to move Tate to
absolutely
right
he's
back.
He's not.
Because I think the partnership works.
Yeah, he's not. He's not a lone DM.
You know who it reminds me a little bit of? Remember Cesc Fabregas at Chelsea when he was just a 6 instead of a 10?
I don't know. It says that where?
All right.
Fabregas at Chelsea.
I think that's what it reminds me of a little bit.
Jesus Christ! I can't believe you said that, jackass.
They won the league that year.
God.
I knew you'd remember. I also here's the other thing I wanted to say about Isaiah. The thing that he has two things actually. One thing that he has that we haven't had since Richard Dixon is this thing that you pointed out where he can just stick his ass out and hold off a guy and then play a ball. And the security of knowing that if you give it to him, he is unlikely to give it up in a physical duel is so important.
Is he the one who shielded the ball and stuck his ass out and got a foul like late in the game to stretch it out? I mean, one of our players just stood there, stuck his ass out so it would make contact with the defender and then
Was fouled.
He was fouled. He went down.
A bunch of our
laughed.
Anthony did an incredible one.
It may have been him. It may have been one of them.
Several players did. And the other thing is like if he loses the ball, which he doesn't lose the ball often, he's able to get back and win it back in a way that we just haven't had. And I saw him do it in the preseason so much where he really was a problem against Birmingham. Like he little brothered some of those Birmingham players who are grown ass men. And then in the game against Crown, I didn't see it quite as much. And then back in this game, I saw it immediately again. And it's like, if he's 19, and it's the same thing we were saying about Rich earlier, we have to give some of these younger players grace to have bad moments because they are young and they don't have as much experience. But the good moments that a guy like Isaiah can have, he is really good.
I think he is one of the examples that Sebastian mentioned about how, some of these guys like him and Ashton Gordon and then some of these young players that are coming in from Argentina and Ghana, like some of these young guys are just in that point of their career where they are what they are, and that's why they're here. But also they may not be here very long. Like they may make that jump.
I hope Nashville isn't watching too closely right now. And I hope they have no injuries in their midfield the rest of the season.
Well, it's interesting. Like I don't necessarily know if a guy like Isaiah like truly fits Nashville's game model. The way they're so intricate, the way they play now, and they want to cover ground, and do all kinds of stuff. Like, but Nashville's very, very good very, very good MLS team, especially right now. And I just don't know if Isaiah makes sense for that particular game model. Just like like there's a reason why they let DBJ go. Like they don't see him as a first team player at Nashville. But like there's a reason why we were interested. And a guy like that fits our game model incredibly well. And I think Isaiah like fits into that thing. Like we're okay if we don't have 50% possession.
We lost possession battle the other night, right?
Unsurprisingly, because we didn't have the ball in the second half.
All good for me.
But like we were up 4-1 early. Okay, no problem.
We did the first 2 goals. Let's talk about the next 2.
Third goal is kind of a chaotic ball in the middle of the field. No surprise. Alex Krell does a phenomenal job of winning the possession battle out of it. Winning the ball back or retaining the possession in the chaotic bounce. He plays the ball out to kind of no one, but Yves is able to get on the end of it, and I think...
Sir, he played the ball into space where Yves was going to be. How dare you besmirch the name of either Yves, who was on his way, or AK-23, who knew what he was doing, you son of a bitch.
and then he goes and fills out space. AK goes out and fills space at the 9. Yves picks it up. He tries to play a pass forward. exactly know to who.
It's very similar to the crown bounce that went against us the other
Yeah,
night. He
and-
plays
and
it
like-
off the defender, gets it back, but by doing that, he beats the defender.
Yeah, exactly. And so he picks it back up again, and then he just plays a great little diagonal ball in behind.
So good.
And I think you and I are both thinking, oh
Cross,
shit,
cross.
cut that back for
Cross.
Alex, or for cut it back for Alex
It was
McGrath.
Alex, yeah.
And the goalkeeper is thinking the exact same thing because the goalkeeper goes to try to cut out the cross because it's a tap in. And AK-23 just pulls out his little chipper
Yeah, he just chips.
and just chips the goalkeeper who wasn't even there.
I'm going to tell you what it was.
It's nasty.
It was extraordinarily Spanish. That man's been playing in Spain for a little bit.
Yeah.
That little dink, and it lands in the air still in the goal. So it's not like
Yeah.
a little, I mean, it's so perfect.
And that's a huge moment for AK-23 because I think that was his fourth big chance. He had two big chances against Crown Legacy. He had a big chance in each of the Birmingham and Knoxville games. I think it was against Birmingham. Whatever. He had a big chance in preseason. I remember that for sure. You know, he has another one in the first half that is a great save that we talked about, and then he finally gets his goal, and a great reward for tons of hard work, making selfless runs, putting his body on the line, backing guys up and doing hold up play. Just phenomenal stuff. 3-1. Hell yeah.
And if you go back on his Instagram, like a creep, my guy likes a pontoon boat. Man after my own heart.
Oh, yeah, you guys would be friends.
Sorry, Alex, it's a little creepy, but I was like, I wonder where this guy grew up. I still don't know where he grew up, but I saw a pontoon boat amongst his pictures, and I was like, hell yeah, bro. Man after my own heart.
And then, you know, because we've been here for a minute, so we'll wrap this up a little bit. You know, coming out of halftime, immediately do cool stuff, and it's Alex Krell again, just like making stuff happen. I don't know if it's a real penalty.
It's a little soft. It's a little soft on the rewatch, but also the camera angle is a bad angle because from my perspective in the stands, which is the exact opposite of the exact opposite of the camera, it looked like a clearer penalty. So I wonder.
It looked to me like just some guys getting tangled up in the box. I mean, I was kind of surprised when he pointed to the spot.
It was a beautiful, perfect Stonewall penalty.
But think about that thing. Like,
there's never been a good call that went against us or a bad call that went our way.
Right.
Alex gets out. McGrath gets out on the break,
But you're not wrong.
and like he's very well covered off by the defender. Tries to square it. It's a little bit behind Krell, but like there's Krell and a couple defenders, and like the ball just kind of bounces around. Krell kind of comes away with it, but like I don't know if he's actually going to hold possession, and like trips over a guy or gets cleaned out or like whatever it is. Like
Defenders on the ground can't go to ground there.
but the play develops
Can't give the referee a reason to call it. I'm just saying.
he kept his run active and he kept fighting for the ball until the very last possible second.
And he got absolutely assaulted and fouled, and we got a clear penalty.
Surprised
And
it wasn't a red card.
I agree.
there was
Last
like
man.
there was like 17 defenders back there.
It was and there was a little bit of ball don't lie right after that when they got.
Yeah,
the save.
so like I mean, Tate steps up and hits a really good penalty. For being honest,
It's a good penalty.
Well,
that
but
keeper's
I think
good.
but he hit it. I think it was the right height for the keeper to get it. If
I
he
mean, it
hits
was on the ground. Like maybe it was a foot off the
think
ground.
it was
But like keeper was out
It was a
quickly
good save.
and
Keeper
read
reads
it well.
Keeper reads it. Keeper's
Yeah.
good. Keeper's
It was a
good.
Save. I remember it being
And
a
that's
lot higher
not
than
the
that,
same
but-
one from last week, Joe.
It isn't.
They switched out keepers.
I was very impressed by their keeper all game, including on the penalty save.
Yeah, I thought he had a good game. But like, okay, bummer, whatever. We go down just a few minutes later. It's right after. It's basically like right after Alex McGrath gets subbed off, and corner kick. Tate swings the ball in. Grell heads it down and home.
Yeah.
Exactly what you want your 9 to do is get on the end of it and direct it downwards.
It's honestly one of the most encouraging things of the night in a weird way, because you want, like you said, you want your striker to be able to like do strikery things, and his positioning was wonderful all night. He did a lot of good stuff, but in that moment to, like you said, head it down on a corner, like it was just like, oh hell yeah, like it's great.
I was really so happy at that goal because the penalty that would the game would have been over. They scored the penalty, and I was like, "Oh crap!" Now we've
yes,
got,
momentum.
3-1. Now it's 3-1, and
they have a hope.
Yeah, and so that was a big goal. That was a big goal.
I
know
agree.
It came from a set piece, which apparently now that this year's set pieces are not legitimate goals, but
I'll leave it alone. But
we're just gonna move on. Whatever's going on here.
Well, it's an Arsenal fan being salty.
Who watches that stuff anyway?
Well, he's gonna be watching the championship next year.
Well, he's watching the championship now. For
But
scouting,
I'm not sure.
scouting purposes.
I'm not
to
sure.
Millwall's gonna be great for Spurs fans next year.
I'm not sure the championship's even broadcast. So whatever.
Oh yeah, it is. Oh yeah, you.
Bro, it's on Paramount Plus. You're watching is gonna be so much easier.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And it's great because Paramount Plus rules. Like, yeah.
I can't remember. There was some team. I think it was a championship team who was chanting Tottenham away.
No,
Tottenham
it was a League One team because they just went top of the league.
That's right. It was League One. That's right. It was League One. I forgot.
I'm here for all the banter. We suck. So that's beside the point.
They're not going to get.
I've been sending him the meanest memes.
I have also been sending the meanest memes because that's how I go.
Also, Fiorentina and Tottenham are both going down.
We're both going down.
They're not going to get relegated. I don't think
we are 100% getting relegated, man. It's like having me and you out there.
You might be better.
I haven't seen a tutor fail this badly since the last time one was in England.
Ayo.
Anyway,
if I knew which one was the rim shot button after I changed all these, I'd hit the rim shot there.
So I thought
I'm gonna label. That's gonna be my homework for
Come
today.
For soccer, stay for the history joke.
Yeah.
So it's 4-1, and I thought if you want like a criticism point, something to get better at, I think we could have done a lot better managing the game in the last half hour. I thought the game got. Connecticut wants the game to be stretched. They want to do the Red Bully stuff. They're happy with the game getting stretched and open.
They're also happy for chaos, and somehow we out chaosed them. Which I was very happy to see.
I think something Sebastian told me afterwards. He's like, if they're gonna play that open, like that's kind of what we want. Because we think we can take advantage of it. Now, we did not take advantage of it anymore in the last half hour.
Richard did the same thing. Richard said at the Ultra Club, basically, like, we have a lot to work on for like managing the game towards the end. We feel really good about the first
their
65 minutes.
Goal,
but
their second goal really, I mean,
their second goal's a worlding. But it's our fucking fault because we decided to tempt fate in the section and sing a stupid song.
Well, I know it's a good finish,
buddy.
But
we won 4-2. You need to calm down.
He's also by himself, right outside of.
Well, it's a really great switch of play.
Yeah,
and the recovery is a little slow.
When you rewatch it, you're going to be both more mad because of what leads to it, and less mad about the finish because there's actually two players trying to block him that I didn't see live. And it's a worldie of a finish. Now you want them closer to him, and you also and the giveaway
also right after a span of, you're talking about chaos. There was about, I guess, the 5 minutes before they scored the goal was some of the most chaotic soccer that I've seen in a while.
For us, yeah.
For both. I mean, the ball's just bouncing around. Nobody's got any real control over it. It's bouncing all over.
No, what I mean by that is, like, last year we couldn't get to the chaos. Oh. So they just took the ball back and kept coming in waves. Yeah. And this year we were creating chaos, or this year we are creating chaos in things. Yeah, I think you'll be both more angry and less angry when you watch it at the same time. It's a worldie of a finish. What you'll be angry about is the giveaway, and the lead up to that is just rough. We shouldn't get caught in transition like that.
Is Eldon mad at himself for not? Like, he seems a little bit like he thought that was going wide.
Eldon's really mad whenever the ball goes in.
I understand that. But but at this point, he looks at it. He's like, I think he's like, I thought that was going wide.
So first of all, I think he thinks it's going wide. Second of all, it comes off the inside of the post.
Yeah.
Third of all, I don't think he gets there. It is
He seemed to think, by body language, and it seemed to be a conversation with other players. I think he feels like he should have tried for it.
Probably. I don't know, but probably. I will also say, if you ever see a shot happen in any game, you will see him having conversations with other players on how a shot shouldn't happen.
I know. So it was just strange. It's that keeper thing where they stand and they watch.
Yeah, I agree.
But it looked to me like he thought that was wide.
I do think a player like Eldon reads the game so fucking well. And the reason he makes all the saves he makes isn't physical ability at 41, although he's, of course, an insane specimen for 41 and for probably 35 or whatever. But he makes him because his positioning and reading of the game is impeccable. Do you remember the one-on-one to end the game against Huntsville to get the draw at home where Max Eck is one-on-one to it's 1 minute before the end of the game, and they feed it all in. He's directly in front of the goal, and Max Eck just has to slide it past him, and Eldon just takes him one-on-one. It's me to the door. I mean, it's right there. I asked Eldon after the game. I was like, "Did you just how did you know?" And he go, "How did you know? How did you whatever?" He goes, and then I said, "Did you just read it?" And he goes, "Yeah, I read it like a book." He's like, I knew exactly where he was going before he knew he was going. Because you watch him, if you watch the replay in that game, and it saves our season. It's what gets us the home game. It's what gets us everything.
Yeah.
He dives before Eck even shoots it because he knows, because he's the smartest player in the field and the most experienced player in the field. He knows where Eck's going to go before the ball as the ball's coming to Eck. And I think and this is me very much psychoanalyzing from a position that I shouldn't, I'm guessing that ball going around him and getting there, he probably is telling himself, I should have known that. Whatever is my guess.
His reaction to the shot. I realized it's only like a split second from when the ball is kicked and when it going in, but in that amount of time, I thought it was going wide because
we all thought it was going
of
wide.
his reaction.
Yeah. He has another play earlier on in the game to build out on this point too, where the ball comes through 9 people in traffic. And
It's the first shot of the game.
I don't know how he sees it.
I don't know how he's the one he goes down to his right.
Yes.
I don't know how he saw
and
that.
So that again is why that's one of my pictures of Eldon is that he knows where the ball is going to go before you do. And I'm totally guessing, but I would bet the ball curls and when it gets around him, he's probably I should have known.
Yeah.
This is totally. We should ask him about it.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk to us about that goal.
We're gonna have him on the pod. He was before Ella went back in the hospital from when she was doing good and everything was okay. We were talking to Eldon about coming. He's gonna come on the podcast and I'm gonna ask him about all manner of things, including if we remember, we should ask him about that goal because I'll bet he'll remember what he was thinking. He doesn't seem like a guy who forgets goals.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I think that's a good. In my rewatch of the last post that goal, 15 minutes in stoppage time. We actually managed from there a lot better.
Mm-hmm. You know what?
There was some good time wasting. There was some good.
Yes. Anthony had a wonder. Anthony and Mango, and Keegan, but those 3 guys, and everyone else was good too. But they had some fantastic work. I thought Mango was unbelievable. Anthony was really good. Anthony got assaulted several times, so did Mango, and that was not called. And I thought that was very unfair. Keegan did a bunch of wonderful fighting and keeping the ball. Also, Nathan Kohler put in a yeoman's work. I think he had about 6 blocks building on last year, including 2 of them in the box, slide blocks that were, shots on goal. That's not me campaigning for anything in particular. I just think when you are going to be under it, there is no player that I want on the field more than Nathan Kohler because his reading of the game and his defensive. And he was just really, really in the right place every time. And him and Fareed also, somebody pointed this out to me, so it's not my original thought, last game. Him and Fareed have, and I apologize for not giving you credit because I don't remember who this was. Might have been the Chattanooga Discord, actually. Him and Fareed definitely have a relationship. You can see they have a chemistry. And you can see them even switching sides in while blocks are happening. They just have a real thing. And when you're managing a game, and this is no shot at anybody else, but they stuck out as being really, really effective in helping manage the game towards the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it? Are we done?
I think so.
Hell yeah.
CFC goes on the road to Chicago on Sunday the 15th. They will then be back at home on the 18th. That's a Wednesday for the first round Open Cup game. That game is at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And then they immediately go back on the road on Saturday night, the 21st of March at Huntsville before closing out the month at home on March 28 against Columbus Crew 2.
Are we going to get a big group together for the Huntsville?
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. That's a Saturday game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't. Yeah. Let's work. And if you want to know who's getting together and how, Chattanooga Discord. People will be organizing in the Away Games Men channel, or maybe there'll be an Away Games Huntsville.
Put a link in the
I could put a link in the show notes. Again, if you're going to join the Chattanooga Discord, this is for CFC fans, not just for Chattanooligans, but you can be a Chattahooligans and not be 109, as Matt said. And just know that we expect you to sign up with either your real name or your moniker that you use. No anonymous troll accounts from other teams or whatever else.
We will police the thing.
We did. So the Chattanooga Slack was a little more closed and a little more like, hey, everyone knows everyone, and like I show you my phone and I type in your email address. The Discord's going to be, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, a little more public facing. So we do have some moderation tools in place.
Yep.
That matter. So I'm just putting that out as expectations. But if you want to be in there, I think it's a lovely place to be in there. The Chattahoochee Discord's also a little more public, so there are members of the front office in there. There are members of
player families.
There are player families in there. So it is also just a place of community building and community interaction. So I think if you'd like to go deeper in your CFC fandom, or you just want to keep informed, like it's a good place to be.
Yeah.
Listeners, viewers, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And to everyone in the CFC world, thank you for the love. I appreciate it. I will continue to need it. We love you guys, and we will see you soon. Peace.